Well, they come round pretty quickly, the derbies, Bob. You've obviously had a foot in both camps. What's your sort of feeling going into this one? That it's always an apprehensive sort of build up to the week for both teams, I imagine.
Well, I think in any derby match, regardless of the circumstances, it's always a difficult one to predict because sometimes form just goes out the window. As it turns out at the minute, there is no form. You know, we saw the game on Saturday with Arsenal. Of course, Sunderland went down at Liverpool, got a good result. So going in this game, the whole thing is just, it's impossible to predict. Obviously, Sunderland feel quite confident with the good result they got. I think Newcastle should feel quite reasonably confident to go and get the result. Can't see they're going to win it, mine, unless we get some front men. But it's a difficult one to predict. But I'm being the old cynic. I just say to myself, you know, when somebody said to me, would you take 3 points off Sunderland, or a few more points if you beat Arsenal as well? You know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I look at the game. It's 3 points. We've got to try and there's 3 points at stake here. We've got to try and get as many points as we can. Regardless, and I know for the fans it's bragging rights as well. But as a pro, as an ex-pro, once you go on the pitch, there's 3 points to be played for. Let's try and get some points.
Yeah, and I suppose the Sunderland fans have had every right to feel optimistic. They've signed a lot of players this summer. Newcastle, you know, they've signed 5 players as well. It's two sort of teams that are learning about each other.
It's a bit like the game on Saturday against Arsenal. You know, we didn't know what Arsenal were going to come up with, and Newcastle certainly was the first time we've seen some of the players. So I think it's, as I say, it's even if you had the team playing regularly, and then we were meeting at the end of the season, settled sides, it would still be unpredictable. But now it's even more unpredictable, isn't it? Because they've got new players, we've got new players. It's the beginning of the season, and as I said before many times, I think it takes 6-7 games into the season before you can actually start saying this is where the teams are going to finish up. And I think on Saturday it's not a lottery, but I think mentally Newcastle, I think they did a good job against Arsenal. Sat back, took a lot of pressure, didn't really look like winning the game. And I think if they can do a similar sort of job at Sunderland, it might just frustrate them.
Yeah, and in terms of from a Newcastle point of view, I mean, if Alan Pardew can get a victory in that game, it's not a case of buying him time, but it'll make his life a hell of a lot easier.
Well, I think people would just rather get stuffed by Arsenal as long as they get a result down at the Stadium of Light. I think that's what I was trying to say before. That's the thinking. We just want to have the bragging rights. But at the end of the day, it's points, isn't it? And so we've got a point on Arsenal. If we get another point down at Sunderland, I wouldn't be too unhappy with that because it wasn't an easy. It's not an easy start to the season. Arsenal, you know, on paper when you first see the fixtures, Arsenal, that's always a difficult game, isn't it? Sunderland away, second game of the season, difficult as well. But we've got 1 point at the minute. If we can get another one, no less than one on Saturday, I would think that's a fair start to the season. Bearing in mind everything that's happened and all that's going around, joy and.
Would you put Joey Barton into a derby situation? It'll certainly
add
a bit more spice to it.
Again with Joey, Alan, I thought you made a brave decision actually playing him on Saturday, but 10 out of 10, I think Joey played reasonably well. I've seen him play better, Mike. I thought his dead balls, which he's really good at, were pretty poor at times. I'm sure everybody would accept that, and he would as well. And I think Joey, that's the manager's job. He did a great job getting him up for this game on Saturday. Can he do it again against Sunderland? I don't know. Bearing in mind there's been repercussions, of course, since the Saturday game, and he's still tweeting or whatever you call it. It's difficult. I don't know what you do as a manager. You know, I would have thought Joey, as I said before, Joey, go and do what you're good at. Go and play football, and just try and not get involved.
I mean, obviously, predictions are very difficult at the best of times. Derbies, very difficult. One thing you can't guarantee is it'll be lively.
Well, you think so. Yeah, certainly it'll be lively from the fans' perspective, and I think sometimes mine is players. And there's a lot of, you know, you look at the two teams now. There's new players at Sunderland, there's new players at Newcastle. I don't think they really understand the derby match. And even as a player, when I played, the build-up was a big thing. But after the game kicks off, in 2 or 3 minutes, you then think, I've got to win this game, regardless against Sunderland. You just want the 3 points. That's how you try to do it. You know, as a pro, I think that's what most pros think. They don't think, oh, it's a derby match. I'm frightened of this, I can't do that. I think there'll be a little initial bit of Humpty Dumpty, if you like, and the game's settled, then it's a game of football after that. 3 points to be had.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing that one.
It's the theory anyway.